right, we are live. Welcome back to Fit Body Secrets podcast. I am Coach Cheryl, and I am bringing you this week's Fit Body Short. And I'm going to have to thank my good friend Lindsay for this one because she's like, Cheryl, I want to understand a little bit more about NEAT. What is NEAT? Non-exercise related activity thermogenesis. And it's one of the things that people don't understand why I'm always pushing. Are you getting your steps in? Are you getting your steps in? And yes, that is technically a forced exercise related activity because it is intentional. But the reason is that most people are not getting enough movement in their day. So today's Fit Body Short is going to be giving you guys a little bit of an understanding about how NEAT affects a lot of things in our life. So our caloric needs are based on four things. We've got our BMR, our basal metabolic rate, which is our body's needs at rest just to keep the lights on. This can be affected by our lean muscle tissue, how much body fat we have, how much we weigh, hormones, previous diet history, a lot of other things. But that's what's going to make up the majority of your calorie needs. Then we've got thermogenic effective feeding. So digestion, the types of food you eat some are going to be more thermogenic than others. This is where food quality, not just calories, plays a factor, and macros plays a factor, because even protein and carbs can be more thermogenic than fat. So the types of foods we eat and the amount of food that we eat. So if we're eating more food, that is also going to have more of a thermogenic effect. If we're eating less food, we don't have to break down so much food. And then we've got non-exercise related activity, but I'm going to skip over that one because we're going to talk a little bit more about that one. And then finally, what most people focus on is the exercise related activity, which is your time in the gym spent working out. And a lot of people like to focus solely on burning calories in their workout. And it actually makes up the least amount of most people's actual caloric needs, unless you are some type of an athlete, AKA you are a CrossFitter and you are training. You know, if you have an 8-hour workday and 4 of those hours are spent training, then you are technically working a very active job, which is going to affect your non-exercise related activity, because technically your activity is your profession, which is more than just exercise. But we'll kind of go down that a little bit more. So non-exercise related activity, what is that? Okay. Yes, I talk about steps because non-exercise related activity is what I'm doing right now. I'm talking to you guys. I'm using my hands. I'm blinking. I'm using my mouth. I'm chewing some gum. Those are not, well, I guess that would technically be digestion, but those are non-exercise related activity tasks. And that is the one thing that people can change to really make changes in their, honestly, seeing better results on the scale, in their body composition without adding extra stress. So if you are trying to lose weight, I think a lot of people think that they have to do more cardio. They got to go to the gym more. They got to do more workouts. If you're training consistently, the best place you guys can manipulate is your non-exercise related activity. This number is also a factor because as we are manipulating calories to maybe create a fat loss or create fat loss, is we are actually going to see that non-exercise related activity actually goes down when we are being underfed. Why? This is what's called metabolic adaptation. As we start to eat less, our body wants to burn less. It gets into that hibernation mode. So we start to realize, or we don't realize that we start to not use our hands much as we talk. We start to sit a little bit longer. We start to leave the dishes in the sink rather than getting up and washing them right away. And our calorie intake does play a factor in that. Studies have actually shown that overfeeding often increases our non-exercise related activity. I'm just going to stop saying that and just say NEAT, right? Why don't I just say NEAT? So the goal really is, guys, when we're talking about NEAT, is we don't want to make it forced and stressful. But in the beginning, you might be having to train yourself a little bit more if you have been very sedentary for a long time. It is no surprise they call sitting the new smoking, because sitting is honestly killing people. It's making people very, very unhealthy because they spend the majority of their days sitting behind a desk, staring at a computer screen, or standing behind the steering wheel of a car and driving. So, but we can train our bodies to start to burn more calories with non-exercise needs, not non-exercise related activity, because that's too long to say. And some things that you guys want to think about. Obviously, steps are great, okay? But I think what a lot of people equate this to is I've got to get out and go for like this 60 to 90 minute, 3 to 5 mile walk. You can totally do that. But I think that that also now becomes an exercise related activity. That's totally fine. It's going to increase your needs. But some better ways are things like when you're taking phone calls, rather than sitting and staring at a screen, get up and go for a walk while you're on that phone call. You know, when you're going to the grocery store, rather than waiting for that parking spot right up in the front, park all the way in the back and make it an extra bit of a walk, whatever you can think about, little smart things, doing simple cleaning tasks around the house, maybe getting up and doing the dishes now rather than waiting until later. Finding ways to make things burn more calories in your day. Don't always take the easy route, which is really hard in a world where we are always looking for convenience. Believe it or not, even cooking your food is going to increase your NEAT, okay? Not going to the convenience store or going to the restaurant. Those are all ways that you can actually increase your NEAT. So, NEAT is also beneficial for other things, not just body composition. It also has been shown to, like, obviously the more we move, we're actually getting some blood flow in our body. So for people that deal with like a lot of inflammation, or you're super sore from working out, this can actually help you recover a little bit and help get rid of some of that inflammation. This is also why when people do complain about being inflamed, I'm like, get your steps in, get moving, try and move around a little bit. These are all ways to help that stuff. So little bit of a short episode, but a very important episode for those of you guys out there that focus so much on your workout and not realizing how much the other factors play into it. And honestly, one more thing on that is that, as I just thought about this, is the other problem with the workout part of it is, if you're a CrossFitter out there, you know what I'm talking about. You go to the gym, you hit a really hard workout, and you're literally trashed all day, and you just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. Guess what that workout just did? It literally demolished your NEAT. So finding the right intensity and blend of volume and intensity in your workout so that you can still keep NEAT up is also very, very important. So make sure that you guys aren't killing yourself in the gym and thinking that earns you the whole day of sitting and doing nothing, because NEAT is where it's at. So if you want my advice on getting some NEAT in, or maybe increasing your NEAT, as I already mentioned here, my cat's coming to say hello, is really looking at the way you're living your life and trying to find little sneaky ways to start moving more. I mentioned talking on the phone while you're, walking while you're talking on the phone, getting up and doing dishes, making it more of an effort to go and do things is going to be super helpful for you guys. So hopefully this episode was helpful. If you guys want more information on NEAT or more information on anything nutrition related, shoot me a message. Talk to y'all soon.